Welcome back, everybody. This is Matt with Stout Sportsman. Today's video I'm going to be going over a new firearm that I got about a week ago now. It is the Ruger AR-556 pistol. So this is what I picked up here. I just happened to be up at my local Sportsman's warehouse, and I was actually up there looking for some pistol primers for some reloading that I do. And I just happened to look through the gun case, and I'm like, wow, that's a decent looking little AR-55 pistol. So took a little closer look at it, and there was one that was a little fancier and prettier underneath, which was the Daniel's Defense pistol, but that one was coming in right around a little bit over $1,800, so I'm like, no. So basically what I got here, this ticket price was, I believe, $769. So after tax and the background check stuff, I think I was out the door for like $820, $821, something like that. So not too bad. Basically, what we got here, this is the AR-556 pistol. Model number is 8570. Just to go through basically what it entails. Start from the back here. We have the SB Tactical. This is a SBA 3 brace. So obviously it's adjustable. We have an M-LOK free-floating handguard here. This is 9-inch. This end here we have the little bird cage flash hider threaded in 1/2 by 28, which is standard. The barrel, 10.5-inch barrel, and it is cold hammer forged. Let's see, it's a 4041 chrome moly barrel, so that's chrome line. Also has the M4 feed ramps to it. 7075 T56 forged aluminum upper receiver. The bolt is machined 9310 alloy steel. What else we got? Oh, the barrel is 1/8 right hand twist. What else do we got? Comes with a 30 round PMAG, type 3 hard anodized coating. Let's see some of the dimensions. The height of it, we have 7.2 inches. In the standard form here, which is basically your optics ready, doesn't come with any optics on it. 6.2 pounds is our weight, and overall dimensions in the collapsed form like this right here, 25.3 inches, and in the extended we have 27.9 inches. Barrel also has 5 grooves in the rifling. So my initial impressions of this, when I first saw it in the gun case, I was thrown off a little bit because it looked like it was painted, because it had this bright gloss to it. It looked like the upper receiver area in here was painted because it was so glossy. And then upon further inspection, I realized that it wasn't painted. It was just the amount of oil that comes on this thing. Literally, when I got this thing home and pulled it out of the box, I'm not I'm not exaggerating. It was literally dripping with oil. That's how much oil came on this thing. So basically took it down, basically split the upper and the lower, got it into its 2 halves, and this thing was just ridiculously wet. A lot of the other guys on YouTube that I'd seen review these had a lot of the same feelings right out of the box. Extremely wet. I guess you really can't over lube a gun, but from the factory, that's like the wettest gun that I've ever seen. So not a terrible thing. So you had to go through and just wipe a lot of that excess down, just so it doesn't get all over your clothes or whatever. My initial impressions, just functioning the gun. One of the first things I look at is the trigger and also the charging handle. This is my 4th AR platform, and 2 of the 3 have aftermarket charging handles to them. I do not like these standard charging handles. I like having the ambidextrous, so you can charge from both sides. And I usually run the Radian Raptors I have on my AR-10 and my other AR-15. So that's what I have for this. I have the Radian Raptor LT. Basically the LT is it's kind of a mix between your anodized aluminum and like a formed polymer, whatever it's called. Yeah, molded polymer. So it's kind of like a hybrid. So I haven't installed that yet, but that's usually one of the first things that I do on a new AR, is swap out my charging handle. And the trigger. the trigger on this Ruger AR-556 pistol. I guess you could call it typical mil-spec. I'm not a trigger snob by any means, especially with rifles. For pistols I kind of am, but this trigger is, I'm just going to say it, it's horrible. On my trigger pull gauge that I have here, this comes in right around 8.5 to 9 pounds consistently, and for a mil-spec trigger, that's, to me, that's a little heavy. It is what it is. I wasn't sure what trigger this was going to have in it, if it was just going to be a standard run-of-the-mill mil-spec trigger, which it is. I wasn't sure if maybe it had their the Ruger upgraded 2-stage. I think it's the 452 trigger, whatever it's called. But I think that might come with one of their higher-end Ruger 556 models. Anyways, so like I said, 8.5 to 9 pound trigger pull, which is quite a bit. I don't have a mag in, just show you that that chamber's empty, just so I can dry fire here. Flip it to fire, and I mean, you're not really going to be able to see or feel, but it's quite a heavy pull. And the reset, now from this is all the way back from the previous shot, and then it's super very gritty and just notchy, and so there's my reset there, and another 8.5 to 9 pounds. To me, that's just not really acceptable. My other two AR builds that I have, my AR-10 and my AR-15, they're both Palmetto State Armory builds. Those triggers weren't, their mil-spec triggers weren't nearly as bad as that, in my opinion. I have switched both of those out. Those two builds, I run the ALG ACT triggers, which is a mil-spec single-stage trigger, but it has, they're polished and they have a boron coating to them. So they are pretty smooth. There's a nice reset to them. You don't have that that grit going back to your reset. So I like those. That's what I was planning on putting into this build. But after looking around at dozens of websites online, I cannot find anyone with ALG ACT trigger in stock. And I like those triggers because it's still a mil-spec trigger, but it's much smoother. A lot of your take-up is reduced. But I couldn't find one, so I'm like, well, let's do a little research and watch some YouTube videos, stuff like that, and find something else that'll work. So I ended up going with a Rise Armament. I believe it's the RA140 SST, the super sporting trigger. Still a single stage. I wanted to stay with single stage and not go to the double. And I believe that they claim it's coming in about 3.5 pound pull weight. After watching some videos and other reviews, most people are coming in about 4 to 4.5 pounds, which makes me a little bit more comfortable. 3.5 pound for my intended use, I think, is a little bit light. So hopefully mine will come in around 4.5 pounds. But it's a drop-in trigger, so it should be pretty easy to get set up. As this gun comes, no optics, no iron sights, nothing on it, so it's optics ready. So far, I've ordered a couple things for it. I just said I ordered that Rise Armament trigger. That's coming. I showed you the Radian Raptor charge handle. Those are the two of the 4 things that I get right away. And I also got a Romeo 5 Sig Sauer red dot. I have one of these on my other Palmetto State AR-15 build. I think this comes in 2 model numbers. One of them comes with this, just the high-rise mount here. The other one's a little more expensive. It comes with the high-rise mount and also a low-profile mount. I don't run the low-profile mount, so I just ordered this one. This was a little cheaper. I think this one came in $125 to $130. It's nice. Obviously, you got your windage and elevation adjustments here on the top and side, and you also has a plus and minus, like any red dot should, for your dot brightness. And you got a little dust cover here. And also, this is a shake awake model, so basically you just leave it on it when you're not using it. When it doesn't feel any movement, it shuts off. I want to say the battery life is about 40,000 hours, so you really shouldn't have to change that battery too often if you're just sitting in the gun safe. It's not going to be coming on. But I like having the same optic on multiple platforms. That way you're used to it. Same thing with the charging handles too. I like to try and keep them somewhat uniform. What else am I getting? Oh, I'm getting some Magpul pop-up, just some the polymer pop-up backup sights for it. Yep. What else do you get beside the pistol? You get the fancy cardboard Ruger box. Yay. Good times. And inside, what you get with it, you get this lock, which I don't know. I don't have kids running around the house, so I don't lock anything up other than when it's in the safe. And you get one of these little barrel flags. And you get your Ruger owner's manual. I suggest going through and reading it. And a little fancy sticker here too. Yep. But especially when you're dealing with AR pistols and the whole stabilizing arm brace, you definitely want to make sure that you know the laws on how to legally shoot it, I guess. I mean, that stabilizing arm brace from SB Tactical, it's not, that arm brace isn't meant to be shouldered necessarily. So definitely do your homework on that, because the last thing you want is to be at the range shooting it and ended up being a felon for misuse. Anyway, that's on you. Other than that, I have not shot it yet. The weather's been pretty crappy up here. It's been cold. Been getting a lot of snow here in Pennsylvania. So I think once I get my trigger in and I get those backup sights, I'll get the whole package put together, take it out to the range. I have some hand loads loaded up, so I'm going to take the chronograph out with me too, as long as the temperature and weather's warm enough. And I got to do some velocities and just cycle checks, stuff like that. Make sure that thing runs pretty good. But other than that, pretty happy with it so far. I mean, just from handling it here at the house and dry fire, all that stuff. So I should have a video out probably within the next week or so, with a little bit of range time and stuff like that, just to give you my initial thoughts after shooting it. But appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, throw some comments down there if you have any questions. Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm Matt with Stout Sportsmen, and I'm out.